I never imagined that a simple weekend at my best friend's house would shatter my world. As Jordan left to grab groceries, his dad, Mr. Thompson, turned to me with eyes that held a storm of secrets, and in that quiet living room, he did something that changed everything. He confessed he was gay, and that he'd been watching me, not as a father figure, but with feelings he couldn't hide anymore. My name is Gage Rivera, and I've always been the quiet type, the one who blends into the background at parties and prefers a good book over small talk. Growing up in suburban Chicago, I learned early on to keep my sexuality under wraps. It wasn't that my family was outright homophobic. My mom was a liberal teacher who marched in pride parades back in the 90s. But the whispers in school hallways and the occasional slur from classmates made me cautious. By the time I hit college, I'd only come out to a handful of people, including my best friend, Jordan Thompson. Jordan and I met freshman year at the University of Illinois, bonding over late-night study sessions and a shared love for indie bands. He was the outgoing one, with a laugh that could fill a room and a family that seemed straight out of a sitcom. His dad, David Thompson, was a widower, a successful architect in his late 40s, with salt and pepper hair and a warm smile that made you feel instantly at ease. Mrs. Thompson had passed away from cancer when Jordan was in high school, and David had raised him single-handedly, turning their cozy home in Evanston into a haven of stability. That weekend in June, right after our sophomore finals, Jordan invited me over to celebrate. "Come on, Gage, my dad's grilling steaks, and we've got the pool all to ourselves," he'd said, slapping me on the back. I hesitated at first. Spending time with families always made me nervous, like I was intruding on something sacred, but Jordan insisted. "You're basically family, dude." We arrived Friday evening, the summer sun dipping low over Lake Michigan. David greeted us at the door, his handshake firm and his eyes crinkling with genuine welcome. "Gage, good to see you again. Jordan's told me all about that philosophy paper you aced." I blushed, mumbling something about it being no big deal. Dinner was perfect. Juicy steaks, fresh salad, and stories from David's travels. He spoke about designing eco-friendly buildings in Seattle, his voice steady and passionate. Jordan teased him about being a workaholic, and David laughed it off, but I caught a flicker of loneliness in his expression. The next morning, Jordan announced he needed to run to the store for more sunscreen and snacks. "You two hang out by the pool. Dad, show Gage your latest sketches." He grabbed his keys and was out the door before I could protest. Suddenly, it was just me and David in the sunlit kitchen, the air humming with the distant chirp of birds. David poured us coffee, his movements deliberate. "So, Gage, Jordan mentions you're majoring in literature. Any favorite authors?" We chatted easily at first about Hemingway and Fitzgerald, the American dream and its illusions. But then the conversation shifted. David's face grew serious, and he set down his mug. "Gage, there's something I need to tell you. Something I've been holding back for a long time." My heart skipped. Was this about Jordan? Had I done something wrong? He leaned forward, his voice dropping to a whisper. "I'm gay, Gage. I've known since I was your age, but I buried it deep. Married Jordan's mom because it was what everyone expected. She was my best friend, and we made it work, but after she died, I've been so alone." I stared at him, the words sinking in like stones in water. This man, this pillar of heteronormative success, was confessing his deepest secret to me. "Why me?" "Mr. Thompson, David, I don't know what to say. I'm gay too." The admission slipped out, easier than I'd expected. His eyes lit up with a mix of relief and something deeper, more intense. "I knew, Gage, or at least I suspected. The way you look at the world, the quiet strength. It's why I feel this connection." He reached across the table, his hand brushing mine, not in a predatory way, but with a vulnerability that made my chest ache. When Jordan returned, we acted normal, but the air between David and me had changed. That afternoon by the pool, stolen glances turned into quiet conversations when Jordan dozed off. David shared stories of his youth, crushes on classmates he never pursued, the fear of rejection in a less tolerant era. I opened up about my own struggles. The bullying in high school, the dates that fizzled because I couldn't be myself. But as the day wore on, Doubt crept in. What was I doing? Jordan was my best friend. If he found out his dad was gay, and worse, that we were bonding over it, how would he react? Society's expectations loomed large. Fathers were supposed to be straight, stoic providers. Gay dads in the suburbs? That was for progressive TV shows, not real life in Evanston. That night, over pizza, Jordan noticed the tension. "You guys okay? You seem off." David chuckled it away, but I saw the worry in his eyes. As we headed to bed, he pulled me aside in the hallway. "Gage, thank you for listening. It's been years since I felt seen." His words hung heavy, stirring emotions I wasn't ready to name. The next morning brought the first real conflict. Jordan wanted to hike in a nearby park, but David begged off, citing a headache. "You boys go ahead. I'll rest." Jordan shrugged, but I sensed the lie. Alone again, David confessed more. "I've been seeing someone, a man from work. It's casual, but it's the first time I've allowed myself this." Jealousy flared in me, unbidden. Why? He was twice my age, my best friend's dad. This was wrong on so many levels. We talked for hours, dissecting the societal pressures that force people like us into hiding. The religious aunts who preached traditional marriage, the colleagues who made offhand jokes about those people. David spoke of the guilt he felt toward Jordan's mom, wondering if he'd robbed her of a fuller life. I shared my fear of coming out to my extended family, the immigrant grandparents who clung to old-world values. By the time Jordan returned, flushed from the hike, I was a mess of confusion. That evening, as we packed to leave, David slipped me his number. "If you ever need to talk, Gage." Jordan drove me back to campus, blasting music, oblivious. But I knew this was just the beginning of a storm. Back at school, the confession haunted me. Classes blurred into a haze of lectures and notes, but my mind replayed David's words. I avoided Jordan's texts at first, claiming busyness, but guilt gnawed at me. He was innocent in this. Why punish him for his dad's secrets? A week later, Jordan cornered me in the dorm cafeteria. "Dude, what's up? You've been ghosting me." I forced a smile, blaming stress from an upcoming paper. But as we ate, he mentioned his dad. "He's been acting weird too. Happier, almost. Said he met a new friend." My stomach twisted. Was that me or the man from work? I decided to text David that night. "Hey, it's Gage. How are you?" His reply came quick. "Better since talking to you. Coffee sometime?" Against my better judgment, I agreed. We met at a quiet cafe in downtown Chicago, away from campus eyes. David looked younger in casual clothes, his architect's precision softened by a tentative smile. Over lattes, the conversation deepened. He spoke of the isolation of being closeted in a straight world, the business dinners where wives were expected, the assumptions that grated. "I've designed homes for families, Gage, but never felt like I had one fully. I shared my own battles. The apps where hookups felt empty, the friends who set me up with girls before I came out. But then came the spark. As we walked along the riverfront, our hands brushed accidentally, or was it?" David paused, his gaze intense. "Gage, I feel something here. More than friendship." My breath caught. This was the line we shouldn't cross. "David, you're Jordan's dad. This could ruin everything." He nodded, pained. "I know. But for the first time, I want to be honest." We parted with a hug that lingered too long, igniting a fire I couldn't extinguish. The secrecy escalated. Stolen calls late at night, texts coded in everyday language. Jordan noticed my distractions. "You seeing someone?" he'd ask, grinning. I'd lie, hating myself. The guilt built like a pressure cooker. Society's taboo on age gaps, the betrayal of friendship, the fear of outing David before he was ready. One evening, Jordan invited me to a family barbecue. "Dad's insisting. Says he misses our talks." Panic surged. At the event, relatives milled about. Uncles with beer bellies, aunts gossiping about neighbors. David played the perfect host, but his eyes sought mine across the yard. During a lull, he pulled me into his study. "I can't stop thinking about you." Before I could respond, he leaned in, our foreheads touching in a moment of raw vulnerability. No kiss, just intimacy that spoke volumes. "This is dangerous," I whispered. He agreed, but the pull was magnetic. Jordan's suspicion grew. At school, he confronted me. "Gage, are you okay? You seem distant." I deflected, but cracks showed. Then came the bombshell. David decided to come out to Jordan. "I have to, Gage. For us, for me." The night he planned it, I waited anxiously in my dorm. Jordan called afterward, voice shaking. "Dad just told me he's gay." "What the hell?" Shock turned to anger. How could he hide this? From Mom? From me? I listened, heartbreaking, offering support while hiding my role. Jordan's reaction mirrored society's fractures. Initial denial, then hurt over the deception. "Does this mean he never loved Mom?" he asked. I reassured him, drawing from my own experiences, but the irony burned. As Jordan processed, our friendship strained. He withdrew, canceling plans, leaving me isolated. Meanwhile, David and I grew closer in secret meetings. Walks in parks, dinners in hidden spots. We discussed the ethics. Was love worth the pain? Society judged harshly. Gay relationships were accepted more now, but intergenerational ones? Taboo. And the father-son dynamic added layers of controversy. A heated argument erupted one night. "What if Jordan finds out about us?" I demanded. David sighed. "He might hate me forever, but living a lie is killing me." His words echoed the choices we all face. Authenticity versus acceptance. As summer faded, tension peaked. Jordan invited me over again, unaware. David and I agreed to cool it, but fate intervened. In the kitchen, alone, emotions overflowed. "I love you, Gage," David said, voice breaking. The door creaked. Jordan stood there, eyes wide. The silence that followed was deafening. Jordan's face drained of color, his keys clattering to the floor. What did I just hear?" David stepped back, hands raised. "Son, let me explain." Jordan exploded. "Explain? You're telling Gage you love him? My best friend." Accusations flew. Betrayal, manipulation, disgust. "How long has this been going on?" "Dad, you're old enough to be his father." The age gap hit hard, fueling societal stereotypes of predatory older men. I tried intervening. "Jordan, it's not like that. We connected over shared experiences." But he turned on me. "Shared experiences? You're gay, fine, but with my dad? That's sick." The word sick stung, echoing the homophobia we'd both fought against. Jordan stormed out, slamming the door. David collapsed into a chair, head in hands. I knew this would happen. We spent the night talking, dissecting the fallout. Society's lens warped everything. A genuine connection seen as scandalous. News stories flashed in my mind. Politicians outed, families torn apart. Was our love worth this? Jordan ignored calls for days. When he finally answered, his voice was cold. "I need time, Gage. And Dad, I don't know if I can forgive this." The rift deepened, affecting school. Whispers started. Mutual friends sensed the tension, probing for details. David faced his own battles. At work, rumors swirled after he came out to a colleague. Supportive comments masked judgment. Brave, but at your age? Clients hesitated. Projects stalled. The architectural firm, once a sanctuary, became a minefield of microaggressions. I turned to online forums, seeking solace in LGBT communities. Stories poured in, intergenerational relationships thriving despite odds, but also warnings of power imbalances. Was David using his experience to influence me, or was I idealizing him as a mentor-lover? Self-doubt crept in. A family intervention loomed. Jordan's aunt, a devout Christian, called a meeting. "This isn't right," she declared in the living room. "David, think of your late wife. And Gage, you're so young." Debates raged. Bible verses versus modern acceptance, tradition clashing with progress. Jordan sat silent, torn. I defended us. Love doesn't follow rules. We're both adults. But the aunt's words lingered. Society isn't ready for this. You'll face hate. She was right, online trolls would feast if it went public. High drama unfolded at a Pride event. David suggested we attend together, a step toward openness. Jordan showed up unexpectedly, dragged by friends. Seeing us hand in hand, he approached warily. I don't get it, but I miss you both. Tentative reconciliation began, but undercurrents of resentment simmered. Backstory revealed more layers. David confessed a past fling in college, suppressed for career and family. I chose safety over happiness. Jordan grappled with reimagining his parents' marriage. Was it all a lie? Therapy sessions followed, unpacking generational trauma. My own family entered the fray. Coming out to them about David sparked outrage. He's how old? My mom exclaimed. This isn't healthy. Disapproval mounted. Friends divided. Some supported. Love is love. Others ghosted, citing discomfort. A pivotal choice arose. David offered to end it for Jordan's sake. I won't lose my son over this. Tears flowed as I protested. But what about us? The emotional tug-of-war intensified, highlighting sacrifices in pursuit of forbidden love. Climax built during a stormy night. Jordan confronted us together. If you're serious, prove it. No more secrets. We agreed, but he posed hard questions. Dad, did you ever love Mom? David affirmed, explaining companionate love. Gage, are you using this to rebel? I denied, emphasizing genuine affection. Resolution inched closer, but not without pain. Jordan's acceptance was conditional. I need space to process. Society's mirror reflected harshly. Media portrayals of gay dads often sanitized, ignoring complexities like this. As fall semester started, normalcy teased. Group hangouts resumed, awkward at first. David and I navigated boundaries, focusing on emotional intimacy. But whispers persisted. Was this ethical? Age, power, friendship, controversies abounded. One evening, over dinner, Jordan cracked a joke. Laughter returned, fragile but real. Yet, underlying tensions hinted at future storms. Love's path was never smooth, especially when it defied norms. With Jordan's tentative blessing, David and I explored our relationship openly, within limits. Dates in the city, away from prying eyes. But Chicago's LGBT scene buzzed with opinions. At a bar, a stranger commented, "Cute couple, but daddy issues much?" Laughter followed, but it cut deep, reinforcing stereotypes. Social conflicts amplified. David's firm faced backlash from conservative clients. We support diversity, but personal lives affect business. A partner hinted. He considered quitting, dreaming of a freelance life free from judgment. My campus life fractured. Rumors spread via Jordan's slip to a mutual friend. Gage is dating an old guy, Jordan's dad. Stares in class. Anonymous notes. Homewrecker. I confronted Jordan. You told. He apologized, but trust eroded. Family dinners turned battlegrounds. My grandparents visited, their old world views clashing. This man is taking advantage, Grandpa declared. Mom mediated, but divisions grew. David's relatives distanced. We love you, but this is too much. Emotional choices defined us. I questioned longevity. Would passion fade with age differences? David worried about holding me back. You deserve someone your age. Adventures I can't share. Debates ensued, raw and honest. A turning point. Jordan's girlfriend, Emily, intervened. Supportive of LGBT rights, she urged understanding. Love isn't perfect. Give them a chance. Her perspective shifted Jordan, leading to a heartfelt talk. Dad, I see how happy you are. Gage, you're like a brother, but now more. Yet, controversy brewed externally. A local blog post anonymized our story. Suburban scandal. Widower dates son's best friend. Comments exploded. Disgusting, inspirational, power imbalance. We debated responding, but silence won. High-stakes drama peaked at Thanksgiving. Jordan hosted, inviting both families. Tension simmered. My mom's polite chill, David's sister's pointed questions. How did this start? Over turkey, truths emerged. David shared his journey, vulnerability disarming skeptics. But an uncle's slur ignited fire. This gay stuff is ruining families. Jordan defended. No, hiding does. The room polarized, mirroring America's divides. Progressives versus traditionalists. Post-dinner, alliances formed. My mom pulled me aside. If he makes you happy, okay? But be careful. David's sister softened. I just want you happy, brother. As winter set in, stability teased. David proposed couples therapy, addressing imbalances. Sessions unearthed fears. My abandonment issues, his guilt over past deceptions. A romantic getaway tested us. Weekend in Wisconsin dells, cabins, hikes. Away from chaos, connection deepened. I choose you, Gage, David said under stars. But reality intruded. Jordan's call about a family emergency. Rushing back, we found Jordan in crisis. Emily dumped him over stress. This family's drama is too much. Blame shifted to us. If you two weren't together, Jordan lashed out. Reconciliation required sacrifice. David offered space. Maybe we pause. I refused. No, we fight for this. Jordan, seeing resolve, relented. Fine, but no more drama. Society's gaze intensified via social media. Friends posted supportive memes, but trolls harassed. Pedo vibes. One messaged. We reported, but damage lingered. Emotional climax. David's birthday party. Jordan organized, inviting all. Toasts turned confessional. To new beginnings, Jordan said, hugging us. Acceptance bloomed, but scars remained. As the year ended, reflections dominated. Had we chosen wisely? Love triumphed, but at what cost? Friendships mended slowly, families adapted unevenly. One night, curled together, David whispered, worth every fight. I agreed, but doubts whispered. Was this sustainable? Spring brought renewal, but challenges persisted. David's career rebounded with progressive clients, embracing his authenticity. My designs are better now, honest, he said. My studies focused, inspired by our story. Jordan's growth shone. Joining an LGBT ally group, he advocated, my dad's gay, and it's okay. Our bond strengthened, evolving from friendship to family. Yet societal pushback endured. A community meeting debated inclusive policies. Our anonymized tale fueled arguments. Such relationships normalize deviance, one claimed. We attended incognito, hearts pounding. Personal choices loomed. David proposed moving in. Let's build a home. Excitement mixed with fear. Jordan's reaction? He surprised. If it makes you happy. Cohabitation revealed realities. Generational gaps in music, tech. Arguments arose. You're too cautious, I'd say. You're impulsive, he'd counter. But compromise deepened love. A major conflict. David's ex-colleague outed the work fling publicly. Scandal reignited. Cheater. Jordan defended online. Dad's human. Back off. Emotional toll mounted. Therapy continued, unpacking jealousy, insecurity. Am I enough? I asked. David reassured. Always. High drama at Pride Parade. We marched together, Jordan beside. Cheers mixed with booze. Cradle robber. Resilience grew. As summer returned. Full circle. Barbecue at home, our home. Families mingled. Laughter genuine. Aunt's apology. I was wrong. But perfection eluded. Subtle judgments lingered. Friends' hesitant invites. Neighbors' stares. In quiet moments, we reflected on paths chosen. David's confession that fateful day sparked change. Painful, beautiful. Now, years on. Wait, this is the story's arc. But let's wrap. The journey taught. Love defies norms, but society evolves slowly. Choices define us, emotions guide. Was David's initial confession to Gage manipulative, given the power dynamics? Or was it a genuine cry for connection that society should embrace?